Hey friends, this is John for Cartridge Blast Gamers here. Today we're doing something different for Modern Monday. Today we're going to be doing a review of Resident Evil, the new game that just came out. Now this is a completely spoiler-free review, which means there's not going to be any clips or any pictures that's going to give anything away, because you really want to go in blind with this game. Absolutely. Because this game is completely different, but for the better for sure. So first thing you're wondering, is this game really scary? Well, stick around to the end because I'm going to show you some live action clips of us playing the game, spoiler free of course, just shots of us playing the game, and you'll see how scared we actually got. If you guys like this video, please smash that like button and leave us comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching. So let's get into it. So first things first, how does the gameplay feel? Because it's a new style. We've never seen this style in a Resident Evil game, at least the main series. So how does it feel? I think it feels right. It brings Resident Evil back to the scary survival horror roots and slows things down from the run and gun that the last two entries in the series were. The graphics really work well and they suck you into the game. This atmosphere is just creepy as hell, and the realism, it sucks you in and you don't want to stop until you're done. Now, I've played Resident Evil since the very beginning, the first release on the Sony PlayStation, and this game, in a nutshell, think of the remake of Resident Evil 1 on the GameCube and mix that with some of the gameplay elements of Resident Evil 4. Just think of it in first-person mode, and yeah, that's pretty much what you got here. So some of you might be thinking, well, it doesn't look like a Resident Evil game. Does it actually feel like a Resident Evil game? And the answer to that, it does. Without giving anything away, it does. We're actually back to puzzle solving. There isn't health or ammo at every corner. This is pretty much back to its roots. You gotta find things, you gotta solve things to progress in the story, and a lot of things aren't as simple as they have been in the past few years. Some of you might have heard about the length of the game. Well, I can assure you it feels right. It doesn't feel too quick, it doesn't feel too long. Now when I played Resident Evil 6, I felt like I was playing the game for hours and hours and hours, and it just kept getting older and older and older. This game really sucks you in and pushes you to keep going and going and going and going. And it doesn't feel like it's an endless waste of time. So some of you are going to be like, does it actually tie into Resident Evil? Well, without spoiling anything, the only answer I could say is yes. Now, who would I say this game is for? Well, I feel this game is for the old school Resident Evil fans that jumped on board from the early beginning, not the ones that jumped on board during Resident Evil 5 where they enjoyed the fast action paced game, because that is not what this is. This is literally slowing everything down, like I said, with the going back to puzzle solving and things like that. So if you're hoping for a run and gun, that's not what this is. You could play it that way if you wanted to, though. It does give you an option to do that. However, I wouldn't do that, because you're going to miss some things, you're going to make some mistakes, and you're going to die very often. So, without giving anything away as a review, in a nutshell, would I recommend this game? Absolutely. I would absolutely recommend this game. So how am I going to give a review without spoiling anything? Well, I can go by graphics, which I like. Graphics are great. If you want to do a scale from 1 to 10, I would say graphics, probably about a 9. Now, that's not including the atmosphere. Like I said, the atmosphere and gameplay, when everything works together, it's perfect. You know, graphics-wise, it looks great. It looks fantastic. Some scenes, photorealistic. However, you know, not everything looks amazing, but it looks really, really good. And like I said, when everything's together, it works perfect. So let's talk about controls. Controls, they're not stiff, and they're not like a run and gun where you're just like shooting, moving really fast. It slows things down to a more realistic pace. So when you turn, you could turn really fast, but when you aim, it's going to be realistic aiming too. And you're going to have a small little dot to work with. So when you aim, you're going to have to be accurate and fast. And yeah, so, and also when you're running, it's more of a kind of a brisk jog, more or less like a sprint. So, but the controls themselves, they feel good, they move when you move, and they're not stiff, but they're not super loose either. So the sound of the game, the atmosphere, the noises, everything, when it works together, it feels creepy. It feels like you step into a haunted house and you're experiencing everything that the character's experiencing, and you're in there, you're hearing the noises, you're hearing the creaking, you're hearing everything. And it sounds really awesome. And if you wear headphones while playing this game, like Samuel Jackson says, hold on to your butts. Now, if there's one negative about this game, it's gonna have to be, and this is not a spoiler, if you played the demo, you know that there's VHS tapes that you watch, right? Well, it's the same thing in the main game. And the only negative I can say is the loading times between watching the video and not watching the video is a little long. But the pro side to that is there are no loading times when you walk through doors, change scenery, nothing. It's only when you watch those, and if you play the game, you'll understand why. And probably not see it as a big deal. So for some final thoughts, I'm really glad they went in this direction. It was a bold move by them because, you know, it's completely different. From the outside looking in, you're going to be like, well, that doesn't look like a Resident Evil game. Well, when you dive in, you're going to change your mind and you're going to be like, okay, it's just an updated version of it. And once you're playing in the atmosphere and everything, you're going to be like, wow, this reminds me of old school Resident Evil. Back to the survival horror roots. This is no run and gun. This is all about surviving, making smart decisions, learning how to solve puzzles, and yeah, conserving ammo as well. So to give a score for this game, I'm going to base it off of the Resident Evil series as a whole, not just all games everywhere, but as a Resident Evil series as a whole, looking at Resident Evil 4, we'll give that a 10, right? Resident Evil 4 is a 10, obviously. The remake was a 9. I'm going to say this one's a 9.5. That's my opinion. I really liked the direction they went to. It really made you really get in there, and it was really different. Something I haven't played in a long time, and I'm really glad they did it this way. Give it a try, guys. That was my review of the new Resident Evil game. I know there was no clips, I know there was no pictures or anything like that. I want to give it to you spoiler free because that's what you guys deserve. That's what this game deserves. For people to go into it blind, really explore it, really get into it pretty much, and really, yeah, because it's good. So that was the review, guys. If you have anything to add, write it down in the comments below, and also please smash that like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And as promised, here's a couple of spoiler-free clips of Carmine and I playing the game. See, alright, what's my health status here? Does it give you status?
No. I hear
Whoa!
Oh, shnikes.
Oh, fuck.
Shit.
Oh. Holy mother of
Dear
God.
Lord.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!